Today we're building this Shimano 6207 derailleur. This only applies to the 6207. I'll have a video on the 6208 some other day. And yes, this clamp bolt is supposed to be backwards like this. And some tools you're gonna need are pliers, 8mm wrench, a pick, some Allen keys, and a screwdriver. This derailleur was off a bike from an accident, so I thought that's why the clamp bolt was backwards, but it's actually supposed to be this way. I looked it up. Most of the ones I saw online looked exactly like this, so I'm just gonna keep it this way. It's actually a pretty cool idea, design, whatever. Alright, so first thing for the b-knuckle, what you want to do, go back the cage, you want to unscrew this pin before you do the bolt, because that'll just relieve the pressure and make stripping the bolt less likely. Right now, let it spring back, and now unscrew the bolt. You pull out the bolt, almost. Go in the spring. Don't forget to take off the little seal right here and the one on the bottom. This one, the plastic one. And now for the p-knuckle, you want to grab this clip and pull it off. And now this tab you pull towards you. Mine's of course is destroyed because this one was an accident again. And yeah, if it's stuck, you can grab your pick, pull it under here, and kind of nudge it off. Make sure you pop out your little plastic seal. You can do this if you want. I did it just to make everything cleaner. And if it's hard to pop out, you can grab some pliers and you kind of shove it up in there. And just make sure they're able to go through here. And they'll just kind of wedge this out. All right, now everything's all nice and taken apart. Now it's time to clean. For this, you can use some brake cleaner, degreaser, alcohol. The best thing to use is acetone. You can just let it in there. You can just put it in there, let it soak. If you have any rusty parts, you can use a brass or steel brush or some aluminum foil and water. And luckily for me, for this derailleur, I have more than just dirt to worry about, because as I mentioned, this thing was involved in an accident. So there's a few problems. Number one, this thing is bent. So the spring had a little trouble coming out, but this hole right here where the bolt goes through is not damaged, so we should be fine. I'll probably be able to bend this back, and spring is also bent on this end, so we'll have to bend that back hopefully. And the tab right here is also bent, so we'll have to bend that as well. So yeah, wish me luck, and hopefully we can get this thing running. So yeah, I hope you don't have this problem, and I'll try my best to get this thing running. It shouldn't be that hard. So. All right, now everything's all nice and cleaned down. Now it's time to assemble. And some of the wax I used for the chrome stuff, I got this Quick Glow. And for the aluminum, I got this Mother's. And something you're gonna need for the assembly is grease. And for the pulleys, I usually use this SRAM butter stuff. And after having a little bit of fun with some pliers and vice grips, I got some of the stuff bent back right here. This is still pretty bent, but the spring goes deep in there, and this is only bent on the very edge, so we should be fine. Hopefully there's no rubbing. And the spring, we got that bent back almost all the way, so we should be good there. And the tab also I already tested it, and it should work fine. So all right, and first thing you want to do, just grease up the inside of this p-knuckle area. And by the way, I did also polish this with a buffing wheel, not just a wax. I'm still working on perfecting my polishing method. Someday I'll make a video on it when I get it all nice and good. Remember, this is not only the wax. There's a lot of other work that went into this, so it doesn't look the best, but it's all right. All right, then you want to grab your plastic seal. If you took it out, you want to grab the part with the notch. you want to stick that in where the big notch is, because the small notch is for the spring. So there you go. Now I put a little bit of light grease, the SRAM butter stuff, on the seal just to make the bolt like slide a little better. And then grab your spring. You want to have the short end go in the little hole right there and stick it in. Should go down like this. And then you want to grab your metal retainer piece thing. You want to grease it up. You want to make sure you have your seal on, the plastic one, and it lines up with the hole like this, and then stick it on. Then you want to grab your bolt and stick it through with a rotating motion. Alright, once you got everything in, you want to make sure it goes all the way down like this. Ignore my derailleur, it's kind of screwed up a little bit. And then you want to make this tab go all the way behind here, and then have your clip on standby and put it on. I don't know, my derailleur is extra screwed up, so that's why this thing is going to be a little harder than usual to get on. And once you got it on like this, see my tab actually works. I got it bent back. And now let's put on your clip. This is one of the hardest p-knuckles to assemble. Hopefully yours went a lot smoother. Mine just so screwed up, and yeah, see the tab works, so we're good. Now onto the b-knuckle. You want to just grease it up, same thing. All right, and now put on your spring. You want to put the short end in and find the hole and stick it in. Mine's gonna go in a little bit rough because of that big ass dent. And then you want to make sure your seal is on there. Put a little bit of grease on it, and grab your bolt and stick it on, and put it on with a rotating motion like this. And now you want to grab your washer. You want the flatter side facing up when you're going to screw it onto the cage. And then the cage has two holes. Right one is the tighter one, left one is the looser one. I'm going to go with the tighter one. Alright, and once you got it screwed on, it should look something like this. Make sure you screw it on all the way. And then you want to grab your cage. You want to turn it counterclockwise all the way around. And then you want to screw in your pin. So finally I got it to move nice and smooth, but I had to bend it out. And as I was bending it out, my dog came up and just bit a hole through the derailleur, which really sucks. It was totally not for me, using the pliers way too hard. But now at least it moves nice and smooth. Here's the little shards, so yeah. And now for the pulleys, you want to grease up the inside just a little bit of the plastic part and rotate on your steel bushing. And you want to grease up the inside of that as well and put on your seals and put it on. And then you want to put on your seals. Don't put too much on, and put some grease on the bolt and put it on. And for the tension pulley, if you have this little seal, this is the way it should go on. And now you want to tighten down your pulley bolts, make sure they're all good. Tighten down this bolt, make sure this is all nice and smooth. I already checked both the knuckles, they're all been smooth. So I'm just glad this thing is all working fine after all it's been through. And yeah, now you have yourself a fully rebuilt derailleur. And the clamp bolt, you got to put on the clamp bolt. Remember, it's backwards. You can do it any way you want, I don't care. And here's the bike you came off of, which got in a car accident. As you can see here, this thing took a lot of force, and that rim is completely bent. I'm just glad this thing survived, and I was able to bring it back to life. And yeah, no rubbing, no weird sounds anywhere, even no playing the knuckles. So yeah, it's good for another 50 years. This is probably the hardest derailleur ever that I had to fix. So yeah, hopefully you guys found this video helpful. Thanks to everyone who subbed again, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.